Right. Well, I am on the northern shores of Loch Katrine, which is this beautiful loch here in the Trossachs in Stirling. It's not as hot as it looks. It's actually quite a nice cool day. It's a beautiful day for cycling. There's loads of people out. Today I want to bike and hike up. I don't think you can see it from here actually. There's a hill over here somewhere called Meall Mor, and it's not huge, but it's quite a long way in. I'm cycling about 7 or 8 miles to get to I was going to say the trailhead, but there is no trailhead because it's just grass with no path from this side, so the bike's taking all the effort out. I've parked today at the pier at the southern end of Loch Katrine. Well, just beyond that actually. I came up to the pier first to park, and I was so shocked by the number of people there that I turned around and drove straight back out and found a lay-by to park in, because after all my walks when I don't see anybody, it was quite a shock to see that many people, so I fled. Oh dear. Oh. I take it back, it's roasting. Oh. Oh, I've come from way over there, the pier, right at the southern end over there, and the path comes all the way around the loch. That's Ben, lovely little hill. It's Ben Venu, one of the most underrated viewpoints in central Scotland in my view. It's a very popular road this, because as you can see it's sealed, and people get the boat, the SS Sir Walter Scott, which is a very old, and it does pleasure cruises up and down the loch. Stops at, some of them just go round the loch, but other ones stop somewhere over there, and if you like you can get the boat out there or cycle this way, get the boat back, or cycle back. You can do a loop and using the boat, and you can rent bikes down at the pier, which is why it's so busy today. I've seen more people today in the first few miles of this ride than I have in all my other video blogs put together, easily. How beautiful is that? Just trundling along. We're almost at the head of the loch now. Where's my way in? Right, well that's where the burn comes out, which is the main one that comes all the way down the valley. I'm sort of going up in between two, you know, in a valley, and the burn's down the middle, so if I follow the burn up then that should work. So you could dump the bike here somewhere. Right, oh, it feels weird. Feels very strange walking after pedalling. There we are, got my gaiters on because this is tick country after all. Anyway, there's bracken and long grass and trees. Oh, wouldn't you know it? One tick already. I've only been going 5 minutes. Get lost. Bloody things. Oh, I feel a little itchy now. I'm always saying it's good to get off the beaten track and actually try routes up hills that don't necessarily use the popular paths, well-trod paths, or even paths at all. The downside is that when you're coming up a route like this, where there is all this bracken and grass under trees, you are going to have ticks and stuff. So that's something you have to bear in mind when you're planning your routes off the beaten track. Oh, there's another one. There'll be a full check later on when I get home. That was horrendous. All that stuff I said about getting off the beaten track, finding your own way, staying off paths, ignore it, I'm talking nonsense. That was horrendous. Oh God, bracken was up to here. It's nice to be on the open hillside again though. Oh, hang on. What's that? Oh, it's a... where is it? There it is. That's a larson trap. You might see these in the hills sometimes. Big wooden frames with wire mesh. And you might see a crow in them, and they're put there to attract other crows which get trapped in there. And they are legal. Hill farmers use them because they can't be there to shepherd their sheep and their lambs. During lambing season, crows will attack sheep, lambs, newborn lambs, and it's quite gruesome. They peck their eyes out. So that's why you might see those as a way of controlling crows. Well, the gradient's eased considerably, but the grass is still very long. I wish I had my walking poles with me, but in my excitement leaving the house this afternoon, I forgot them. Certainly make the going a lot easier. I don't know about you, but I find walking off-piste, as it were, walking off paths and just across open hillside, I find it not just physically tiring, I find it mentally tiring as well, and it's always with an enormous sense of relief coming down over rough ground when you actually get back onto a path again. It's sort of, I don't know, I just feel a bit of a load off my head. And even if I was here now, even if I just came across a track and followed it up, the going just seems mentally that much easier. It's like you're fighting the physical and the mental toughness of it all, really. And this is quite tough to walk through. Well, there's sight of kind of where we're headed. That's not the summit. The summit's up here somewhere. It's one of life's pleasures, just following burns up mountainsides. I don't know if it's just because it's that they get smaller and smaller, and then you know they're going to peter out eventually, but there's just something quite alluring and enticing about following a burn up a hillside to its source. Undoubtedly though, I think a lot of the joy just comes from the simple pleasure of hearing that noise, having that noise accompanying you all the way up a hill. It's quite it's a funny word to use, but it's quite a friendly sound. Possibly because water is what you need when you're thirsty, and you know that you're never far from being replenished if you run out of water if you're thirsty. But it's just a nice sound. Oh, this is quite beautiful. There's a lochen there. Beautiful little lochen there. There's long grass around there. And these wonderful glacial landscape here. I don't know whether this has been done by ice or if it's done by meltwater from glaciers that were here, cutting channels. It's hard to tell what that is there, but it's wonderful landforms. I do like my landforms. When I come to places like this, I do wonder how many other people have been here. I know that all this land here is farmed, and I have seen farm tracks, ATV tracks, so farmers come up here. But this isn't a Monroe, it's not a Corbett, it's a lowly Graham. Yet another one of those lists of hills that people tick off. But this isn't the route that you'd come up. You come up from Loch Katrine over by Loch Foyle, which is over the other side. So you do wonder how many people ever come here and see this lovely, lovely landscape. There's the old fence posts marking borders of land. You'll see those everywhere over Scotland, old fence lines. It's the final short climb now to the pass in between two hills, and hopefully a reveal of what is beyond. There's deer prints, it looks like. That's all that really comes up here, a deer. Can't see any footprints of people. Oh, and here's the other side. And then all of a sudden on the other side of the glen we have Ben Cavar, Ben Acroin and Castile is beyond over there. And then there's Cruachan Drain, and this is the glen that goes to Loch Katrine and Loch Foyle, that eventually brings you out to Balquhidder. This is a lovely glen here, lovely path to follow, beautiful, very remote. Again, nobody goes up there at all. And that's the summit up here, so it's still got a wee way to go. Oh, dearie me. It's one of those cruel hills that has endless dips. You think you're almost there, and just trundling along a plateau up to the summit, and then you get a big chasm. Oh well, it's all exercise. Look at that, perfect U. That's amazing. That's Loch Katrine down there. I cycled all the way, it's way over there. That's Ben Venu there. So the end of the loch is way over there. Cycled all the way down the end. Ah, that's Ben Lomond over there. Oh, where's the summit? Why won't you end? Well, that's the summit just up there. I'll head there in a bit, but I'm going to stay here for just a wee while because otherwise I'll lose the view behind me, which is this view here. It's well worth standing here and taking it in just for a bit. You can see the road winding its way all the way down the glen, all the way to Loch Katrine, which is there. The road from Balquhidder comes in this way, and Loch Foyle's just nestling in there. That's the route that many folk will go up and climb Stoppin and Ben Mor from, which you can see over there. As ever, the highest things around here, so they're just nudging into the cloud over there. Wonderful hills. Oh, that's a lovely, unassuming wee summit. actually really enjoyed that. It was a beautiful approach to the hill. The beginning was horrendous, but what I was saying earlier about disregarding all the stuff I've said before about walking off the beaten track and not using paths and going off and finding your own way, that does still apply. It does still work, but of course there are always going to be moments where you have hideous tracts of land to walk across, like that bracken, or somewhere rocky or something scrambly. There's always going to be something, but the whole route's not going to be like that, and usually it's over quite quickly, and then you can just get into enjoying it again, which is what I've done today. And as I say, I've just really enjoyed that. And the view's incredible. I can see, oh, if you can see this, I can see all the way out to Glasgow over there. There you are. You can see those buildings. Right, the camera's having trouble focusing, but you can just make them out. All these sort of high-rise here. That's the outskirts of Glasgow. Actually, the camera's not going to pick it up, but I can see the tower at Grangemouth, and I can see the Pentlands way beyond. So in other words, I can see all the way over there, Edinburgh, and all the way over here, Glasgow. It's quite a view. Time to start down. Long way to go. Oh great, back into the bracken. Bloody stuff. You know what I was saying earlier about the mental strain of walking off the path and how reassuring and what a burden is lifted once you find a proper track again. I've been focused on this gate for 25 minutes, so it's going to be a welcome relief to actually sanctuary. That was a nightmare. Again, I'm practically back now. Just got to find the bike. Oh, look, there's the road. Oh, what a sight for sore eyes. I've always said that just because a hill is big and meets random height that someone's picked, in this case 3,000 feet, just because it's not 3,000 feet doesn't mean it's not a challenging hill. And I think that the hills like that, which was barely over 700 metres, because they're so little used and there's no paths, often they're more remote, rougher terrain, just so much more challenging than the bigger hills, which can be surprising sometimes. But I feel knackered. I feel much more knackered than I would have done if I'd have climbed the Munro today. This must be the old boathouse. What a lovely evening. I just want to jump in. Sweaty and hot. Wow, that is beautiful. This looks like it. Oh yeah, that's it, that's the fence. If for some reason it wasn't here and I had to walk all those miles back home to the end of the loch. Doesn't bear thinking about, but oh, there it is. Right, let's do it then. Lovely cool wind, beautiful evening.